I know we've all heard about the phenomenon / fiasco that is Twilight recently. I want to add my 2 cents. I fucking hate Twilight, and I fucking hate Stephanie Meyer. I started reading the first book on the recommendation of a friend who is really into the series, and I read the first one. I would have classified it as a guilty pleasure. I would not even put it anywhere near my list of top books. It was very fluffy and lightheaded, or airheaded, I should say, but not really anything substantial. But I didn't put too much thought in it. Like, I'm a voracious reader, so I don't really read into things too much. I read the second one. It was retarded. It had barely any plot. It was just so terrible. Right now, I'm more than halfway through the third one, called Eclipse, and I do plan on finishing the series, because I believe in the philosophy that you should always keep your enemies closer than your friends. Twilight is nothing more than Mormon propaganda. Ugh, it makes me so mad to learn that, little girls from the age of, 11 to 16 are reading this book and really hoping that they will have an Edward in their life. It is absolutely disgusting to me. For those of you who haven't read the book, I really suggest that you do, especially if it makes you mad. Edward is a character who is completely controlling of the main character, Bella. He controls everything about her. He controls her actions, he controls her thoughts, he controls what she says to him and to other people. The way he controls her is because of his reactions to these things, so Bella has to completely suppress every little aspect about her, especially her sexuality, her budding sexuality of all things. She has to suppress it because of the way he will react. And I just find that absolutely disgusting. A female author is telling young women to suppress everything about themselves in order to attract a man who will completely be, who will make her dependent on him. Bella, in the story, she is not even close to being independent. She tries, but in the end she always gives up for Edward. And there's many times in the book where she'll say something like, she'll really, fight with him, but then she automatically thinks to herself, but I know that's not going to happen, or I know it's not true. And so, while Stephanie Meyer tries to put up the facade of a strong female character, it's nothing more than a thinly veiled facade at that. I mean, there's no other word aside from disgusting what it is. The only redeeming character in this series is Jacob. Jacob is the werewolf character. Him and Edward, they don't get along, so that's obviously 1 point for Jacob. Jacob is almost the exact opposite of Edward's character. He gets angry at Bella for being submissive toward Edward. He gets angry at Edward for oppressing Bella, and he often will make remarks like, well, I guess you'll have to ask permission from your bloodsucker, and stuff like that. He's the character that's always fighting for Bella to fight for herself, basically. He wants her to be independent, and obviously she's too retarded to listen to him. So there's that whole thing. The second thing is Stephanie Meyer, if you haven't heard, is a Mormon. And in this series, she uses sucking blood as the what's the word? The comparison for sex. So I'm just gonna tell you the basic plot. Bella wants to become a vampire. She wants Edward to make her into the vampire, which means Edward has to bite her and suck her blood and make her a vampire. Edward has said that he won't do this unless she marries him. That's right, kids. Don't have sex before marriage. Suppress all of your human urges and just wait until you have a shiny thing on your finger. My God, that is so... It's so stupid. It is... Oh, it makes me so mad to think about it. Okay, so there's that whole thing. These two things combined, marketed... Why can't I speak today? Marketed to young women is absolutely despicable. Like, there is enough things in this world to control a young woman's thoughts. Like, be thin, be a virgin, be a whore. Like, there's so many media things being thrown at these young girls anyway, just in commercials and billboards and radio and everything, that I kind of like, you know, I always removed literature from that whole, like, media thing. I know there's a lot of stupid literature out there. I know that there is. But the popular literature has usually been alright, like Harry Potter. I have no problem with Harry Potter, or there's very little that I find wrong with Harry Potter. And Harry Potter is huge. But these books are so popular, and it's marketed to who I feel is a very... I don't want to say weak, because these girls are not weak. They just have to find themselves, and they haven't yet. And so, it's being marketed to these girls who haven't found a lot of their own personality, their own life yet. And it's just so popular, everybody's acting it out. Of course, if your friends read it, you know, you have to read it. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of banning books either. Like, if I had kids, I would never say, you can't read that. But, I don't know. The whole thing just makes me really, really angry. For those of you who don't know, I work at Hot Topic, and I worked the opening night of the movie, so it was a madhouse. I actually was in charge of the Twilight merchandise in the front of the store, and I can't even tell you how many little tweens walked in, picked up a shirt with Robert Patterson's picture on it, and screamed. Oh, God. Kill is even the word. Slaughter is what I wanted to do to a lot of them. So it's really sad to me that all these girls are growing up with this image of what women should be. I'm glad that it's, you know, not what it was. Well, I don't know. When you really think about it, it's about the same. Whether you're being marketed giant-breasted women in beer ads, or you're being marketed a submissive little virgin until marriage, they're both equally as bad. They really are. So that's my 2 cents on Twilight. I know you guys have probably heard so much about it lately, but it's just been really picking at my brain, and the more I read of this book, the more I get pissed off. So, I've had to juxtapose my anger by reading A Dirty Job by Christopher Moore. This is actually the first book I've read by Christopher Moore, and it's pretty good. It took me a little bit to get into, but it's really funny. So if you guys haven't read anything by Christopher Moore, pick up one of his books. He's a hilarious author. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this stupid series. God, it angers me so much.